And what is the weather like? I see you guys in the chat talking about how nice it is and stuff. Don't forget, this is what is called false spring. Okay, this is what is called the crusher of gardening dreams. So when you think that you're going to be planting stuff early, hey, our last frost is going to be, maybe we really are done with winter. Psych, not going to happen. So just prepare for that. Okay. So guys, let's see who is here. Let me know who is here. We got some good questions today from a friend of ours, one of you guys, and they're going to go like this. Okay, so we're going to address these topics. And number one, so the person has a question: food. So, like, I've always considered pizza from scratch as a good food. What about olives? They are processed, but they seem healthy. I haven't tried it, but what about the raw heart and livers? So they want to know about certain foods. We might get to that one. Definitely number 2 and 3, though. Music and games. The person is asking: is competition bad for your life force? Is it just being egotistical? I listen to mostly hard or edgy music. So actually listen to classical in the garden today. Well, very good. Congratulations. Number 3 is do different activities, food, or interactions charge your life force more than others? We will absolutely address those questions today. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you, Pa Perm. So okay, Melanie, what juicer do you use? Well, I use several different ones. So the Omega juicer. Now they make. I got one like 15 years ago, probably. It's the chrome. It's the vertical or the horizontal type, and that thing works amazing for greens, leafy greens and stuff. But it's not so good for like fruits and things like that. It's amazing. That's the all-around best juicer, the Omega, the old school classic horizontal one. But now there is a vertical one that Omega makes, which is also really good for any kind of fruits and most vegetables except leafy greens. It doesn't do leafy greens very well. So that's the one drawback. And it doesn't do wheatgrass at all. So we juice a lot of wheatgrass. So we need it to be able to juice wheatgrass. So the Omega classic old school one, I think it's in the Viking storefront. That is the best one that I have found. And I've done many different kinds of juicers over the years and settled on that one. Now, Costco has made just recently, they have started carrying one from Ninja, and it's only $90. It's like 90 or $100. So Camille got one, and I've been growing trays of wheatgrass for her to take, and so she will juice a third of the tray of wheatgrass. And this thing is real easy to clean. It's not super powerful, but it's for like a glass of juice at a time. And that one, I'm impressed. It's super easy to clean. It's got the same type of masticating system as the Omega. The motor's not quite as powerful, you can tell, but that doesn't really matter all that much, when you're just doing wheatgrass. Okay, guys, let me know. Is this microphone working? Sweet potatoes. What am I saying? Sweet potatoes. I want to show you this sweet potatoes real quick. You remember these things? Look at that, guys. Okay. Shikota, what's up, my friend? Look at this. Look at them roots. These are like 3 weeks old. I mean, literally, I went to the co-op like 3 weeks ago and got these things, and they're already that whole tray. I already cut the whole thing once, and it's all growing back again. I mean, this method is beyond any other method by far, leaps and bounds, light years beyond any other method. I'm never starting them in water again. I'm never burying them again. I know exactly how I'm doing it now. And we're going to take these and we're going to actually plant these into little pots. Okay. Are you are you saying sweet potatoes or are you saying sweet potatoes? Which one? Potato. Okay, good, guys. Thank you. Yes. Okay, I see that the thing is working. Okay. PA Perm says I use the Tribist Green Star. Oh yeah, see that's a really popular one. Okay, so but my question is to you, how easy is it to clean? It has to be convenient in your lifestyle. If it's not, if it's a, because I've had juicers before that are a real uh, project, a chore to clean. That's not how you're going to make it a consistent part of your life. You're not going to, because you're, oh, I just, it's so much effort. No, it needs to just be break it apart, rinse it out, done. You know, that's how easy the Ninja one from Costco and the Omega one is. Take it apart, rinse it, easy, done. So yes, that's what I thought. And that's what, when I read the reviews, it's like, yeah, but it's a project to clean. So, you know, it's all trade-offs. But if you're trying to make, like, for a whole family, a bunch of like 10 glasses of juice, I wouldn't go with those. I would go with something a little more powerful, you know. Uh oh, good. So just got the upright Omega. Can confirm works great and easy to clean. Absolutely. It works wonderful. The only thing that I have not found that it does well is apples, and it doesn't do wheatgrass at all. So that's a major drawback for us because we do wheatgrass. We love wheatgrass. So, you know, there's trade-offs though, but the ease of cleaning and stuff is just absolutely fine. Um, okay. Pop Perm says, not super hard to clean, just takes 10 to 15 minutes. Sort of annoying, but it makes so much. Oh, but I make so much at a time. Juicing itself takes way longer. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's true. Um, Now, the cleaning on these other ones is like 1 minute, 2 minutes maximum. You know, that's what's nice. Okay. Um, Ooh, yeah, Freebird says tribe still using kettlebells. I've just moved from 5 to 10 pounds, really helping me jump back after a long flu. Definitely, yes, kettlebells are spectacular. They will be part of the courses I'll be offering in the future. A couple of kettlebell courses. It'll be something we're going to use Camille as a sort of. I'll be instructing the videos, but she will be the demonstrator because she's made leaps and bounds progress in the past 6 months. So it's going to be really good. Yeah. Okay, guys. So let us first do what we must do. Okay, and then I will answer the rest of these questions, and then we will talk about the other questions. But you already know. So take this opportunity to get the mind right. So wherever you're at, sit with the spine straight, relax the eyes, and let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing in. Hold. And let it go. Last one. Fill the lungs as deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. And let it go. Now, immediately relax the mind. No thoughts. There's no need to think of anything. Relax the body. Let the body breathe for you. As you exhale, you are relaxing deeper and deeper the body and the mind. As you do this, you may begin to notice that the body is holding tension in certain places. Just observe this and then let it go. Notice if there is tension in your forehead, the area between the eyes. Notice if you're holding even the slightest amount of tension there. And release. Release. Relax all the muscles in the face. Deeply relax the face muscles. Everything. Relax the jaw, no clenching of the jaw. Relax the neck and the shoulders. Let the shoulders hang naturally. Align your spine in such a way that is relaxed yet alert. Do not slouch over. Do not bend backwards. Do not strain. Just remain tall, centered in gravity, like the giant redwood trees, hundreds of feet tall, yet grounded on the earth. Allow the body to breathe in whatever way it wants to breathe. Maybe your breathing is a bit shallow. Just notice. Just notice if the breathing is a bit high in the chest, or if you're breathing properly because you've practiced breathing from the diaphragm, breathing from the belly. Breathing properly is the most important thing we can do. Everything you're observing, without letting any one thing in particular grab your attention and take you for a ride in the storyline. Just observe. If you find tension in the body, there's no need to try and suss out what its cause is. Deep traumas from childhood. This doesn't matter right now. Just let it go. None of that exists anymore, except as a thought form energy that you maintain from day to day, from moment to moment. Let it go. No more. Just let it go. Be free in this moment. Be what you already are, and that is absolutely free and boundless, perfectly whole and complete. You don't have to try and be whole. You don't have to eventually become complete. You are already completion. All that is. Just realize your nature. Notice how when you silence the mind, the storyline stops. Past and future stop. When thought activity ceases, time ceases. The story of me, it doesn't exist. Remain with the breathing. If you find it difficult for your mind to sit still, rest your attention in the breathing. The breathing is always with us. It is like our dearest companion. Once you advance in the practice a bit, and the power of your focus and your mind strengthens, as of course it will with practice, you will have more and more control over your mind. It will not have control over you any longer. This is freedom. This is bliss. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Again, breathing in. Hold. And let it go. Last one, breathe deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. And let it go. Many people are constantly tormented by their own mind, and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize who the tormentor is. Yet there is this constant commentator in the mind, commenting on every activity, judging everything, one thought right to the next, one thought right to the next, to the next, to the next. For most people, there is an endless barrage, an endless cascading of one thought that turns into a feeling, it turns into an emotion, and one right after the other. And they're at the mercy of their mind, especially in this society now that is literally designed to distract you and to fragment your mind. It is literally designed to fragment your mind, because only the fragmented mind can be enslaved. The whole mind that has realized its true nature is game over. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter. You can't be manipulated. But the mind that is fragmented absolutely can be enslaved. And so most people don't even realize it, but their mind is agitated. It's unable to sit still, and it doesn't realize why. Because this creature, this in a biophysical way, for eons of time, however long you want to think, it's a long time. This physical form, the human, has existed like this, along with the rhythms of nature, which are vastly different than the rhythms of this artificial world that we have created now. You have to understand that. 50 years, or really 20 years, really 10 years, just 10 years. Come on, shut your phone off. Really just 10 years. And really just since 2020 even, it's become even more fast-paced and all of this, more fragmented, more artificial, more social media and everything. It was not like this for hundreds of thousands of years, essentially eons of time. We existed with the cycles of nature, and we existed in such a way that the mind was at ease. Nature, if you've spent time in nature, of course, which many of you have, if you've truly spent time in nature, and I realized this when I was living in the mountains with the redwoods and living outside the whole time, and The rhythm of nature is so vastly different. The spirit of the earth gets inside of you and it transforms everything. You sit outside on a warm, sunny day, like this week. This can be your practice. Sit outside, bask in the sun. When you go outside into the sun, take the shirt off and open yourself up to the rays of the sun. And immediately after a long winter's nap, you will feel your system start to activate again. Hibernation is coming to an end. The radiation from the sun, your cells will drink it in. It's so magnificent. Your whole body just, oh, yes, yes. And just lay there. 20, 30 minutes. I'll be sunburned by that time, of course. It's okay. And just drink it in. And notice the breeze. Notice that the birds are doing a little something over here. There's a rabbit over here. The sparrow is building its nest over and over and over again, makes hundreds of trips, getting little twigs and little pieces of grass. But nature has a rhythm. The sun, the day, the night. Align yourself with that natural rhythm. Go out into nature this year and find that rhythm. Whatever that means for you, spend enough time in actual nature to feel that, to glimpse that, and let that set the pace of your mind. Yeah. So, let's see here. Okay, guys. Now, I want to answer some of these, okay? Oh, yeah, that's right. Jerry says, hi, I was looking around on Thrive and now realize it's back to Nate Muri. That's correct. Yes. For marketing and branding is going to be easier. I need to have one channel that's just my name. Yeah. So let's see here. There was a couple more. Jody K, how much sprouted wheatgrass can you eat? If you're talking about sprouted wheat, not a lot. Not because it can make you sick, but because it is really hardy. I mean, just like a little handful is really, really hardy, full of nutrients and stuff. Okay. Definitely. So, yeah, guys, these sweet potatoes, man, these things are going to be insane. Okay. Let me see what you guys got going on here. If there's any things that I have missed. Okay. Dizzy Wiggle. So we'll do a few of these questions, then we'll talk about the topic. Dizzy Wiggle says, question, after deciding to leave a lot of negative practices behind me, I find myself spinning my wheels, trying to incorporate and maintain positive practices, especially routine. Any advice? Yes, absolutely. So you have to uncover the way that the subconscious mind works and how it directs your life. But you can't just hear someone say that over and over. You have to discover that yourself. You have to realize that, meaning it has to become a reality for you. And once you realize how easy it is to program the subconscious mind, one, it will alarm you because it's insanely easy and so powerful. It directs your entire life, the whole, your motivations. Where do your motivations come from? The subconscious mind. Where does your habit pattern come from? Subconscious mind. Where does the feeling of something being difficult or effortless? Subconscious programming. That's where it all comes from. So that's number one. You have to delve deep and understand that. Then number two would be, how do we communicate with the subconscious mind? Can I program it myself? Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. It's already, and once you realize how easy it is to program the subconscious mind, you will see it's happening all around you to so many people. I mean, to everyone in this Western society, especially. And you will see it, these practices are already being used everywhere. So you can use them to your greatest benefit. And at first, it takes a little bit of effort. Okay. But after roughly 21 days, it takes roughly 21 days to develop a new habit pattern. But what does that really mean? It means that at first, things kind of, it's like tough, you're like trying to turn a ship, and it feels like a lot of effort. Okay, well, I'm trying to maintain this, but then after enough repetition, it's all about repetition of activity, but more importantly, repetition of auto suggestion. Every one of you should read the tiny little book written many years ago, Self Mastery Through Conscious Auto Suggestion by Emile Coué. It pretty much explains it all. And it's not an in-depth, it's not really in-depth, but it's absolutely, and then practice these things. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's unbelievable at first. The power of auto-suggestion. And so it will take some time, but soon enough, you will gather motivation, you will gather energy in that direction. And the subconscious mind, once it grabs hold and says, okay, this is what we're doing, this is the new life, these are the new thoughts, then it becomes easy. You just wake up and you're motivated, you're inspired to do these things. Oh, yeah, you're inspired to do your kettlebell workout, you're inspired to do the breathing practice, you're inspired to stretch, sauna, ice bath, different meditations. You're inspired to have to go to different people, to have different people in your life. You're inspired to let go of things that are dragging you down, and you're inspired to say goodbye to the energetic vampires in your life. That just naturally falls by the wayside because you're on a different vibration level now. But to get to that takes some effort. It does. I'm not going to lie. It definitely takes some effort. But once you do, then everything cascades and it becomes easy, and you're directed, you're guided towards the right people, the right practices, the right book, the right podcast, the right whatever it is. Because the universe always has your awakening as your goal. It's always directing you towards your greatest awakening. So, yes. Find out which practices speak to you and make those a routine. It may take 21 days of honest effort, but probably a bit longer. Yeah. You can look up, you can read about research, neuroplasticity, research Dr. Caroline Leaf, I believe was her name, and research the dendrites, okay? The connections in the brain and how this actually works to rewire your brain. This is not just a woo, we think thoughts and we think positive thoughts. No, this is for real. Yeah. So, and once you start seeing it, then it's amazing. Then it's easy. Then it's all easy. Yes, I like this. Shikota Carver says, I've been practicing catching the thoughts before they become emotions. Once I realize my thoughts are not my own, makes it easier. Absolutely. That's the key. Capture it, see it, observe it before it becomes energy in motion. Yes? Ooh, that's right. I remember hearing that somewhere. Masabi Gal broke her femur. Says, recouping in rehab care after my fall on ice and femur break. Big challenges settling my mind into healing self-care instead of agitation and rumination. Writing poems helps. Yes, definitely. So yeah, sending you healing energy, my friend, for sure. Mm, mm. Definitely. And our mind can be very clouded at that time too because of the medicines that we have to be on. So understand that it's just a short time period, and allow the body to heal itself, which the body is amazing in its capacity to heal, and then carry on with life, which you will be back in no time. So, okay, good. I'm glad. Now let's see our questions. Okay, let's get to the questions now. Number one, we'll talk about later about the food source and stuff, but music and games. Asking, is competition bad for your life force? Is it just being egotistical? Okay, so what we have to understand first is that we have to understand what is a sense of self. What is our sense of self? Okay. Now, many people will think, well, I am me, of course, but the self is a sense that we have. Go within in the meditation or right now and feel, do I exist? Where am I? Who am I? Where am I? Yeah, and there will be a sort of energetic sense. Yes, and I'm always talking of the unawakened um, ego mind. Okay, don't take that in a negative way. It's just is. And so there's a sense of being located somewhere, of being here, that I am a person and that I'm moving through space and time and that I have a life, a past and a future and things like that. Okay, you have a sense that that's reality. All right. Um, and so we call this the ego mind. We call this whole entire thing the ego mind. So it's not being egotistical that we call the ego mind. Like in the classic, he's got a huge ego, Mr. Ego. That's actually just a fraction, a portion of what we call the ego mind. The ego mind is that sense of being someone, of being something. So now this sense of being someone, this ego mind, is very, very fragile because it perceives that it is not whole, that there is something lacking. There's something lacking in its sense of self. And you can investigate this in your own life, in your own feelings, that even in happy moments of your life, there's just something that is like not right. There's something else that you need to be somewhere else, or something else needs to happen. I need to like get something more. You can't really put your finger on it, but it's always there. If you're honest with yourself, it's always there. This sort of sense that I need to be completed in the future. And you can feel that. That's the ego mind. But here's the secret. The ego mind itself is the one creating that sense of lack. What you're searching for, that feeling, is a longing for wholeness. For wholeness. Searching for the end of searching. That's what the ego mind is doing. And so our sense of self is within the ego mind. And there are certain things that where we will try to find wholeness. We will try to find a greater sense of self. And so when it comes to things like competition, it's paradoxical because competition on one level is very good for you. Very good for the physiological production of testosterone, for example, in men especially. Uh, competition can be wonderful. It can be, it's what drives innovation. It's what drives a sense of accomplishment, and it's what drives so many things. But here is the root of it from a spiritual standpoint, is that, are you trying to find your sense of self in the victory of the competition? Is your sense of who you are, you have to go within. I'm speaking to this tribe, which already knows how to go within and to see things and to experiment. So you have to go within. You have to say, am I trying to seek a greater sense of self? Do I feel, if I win this, and then when you do win things, go within. Do I feel more than? Do I feel greater? Wow. That's the ego mind. Absolutely. Because the true self, the awakened consciousness, understands, realize fully that there is nothing to gain. Nothing can be gained or lost in this realm. Nothing. You're already completion itself. You're already perfect, perfectly whole. And so the ego mind says, "Oh, well, I can gain. I can be more than. If I can get this, then I will be victorious." And a whole cascading based upon your life experience and your particular situation. A whole cascading of different thoughts come in after that, different feelings, different emotions. Yes, this is what we would call the ego mind in competition, and that, again, paradoxically, if we're speaking from the spiritual standpoint, the highest standpoint, we understand that there is actually no good or bad. Nothing is inherently good or bad. It is perfectly neutral, as all things are. But the human mind will apply to it the dualistic thought of good or bad. Well, but this competition is good. Well, but this is bad. But this is good. This is bad. That is also the working of the ego mind, ultimately speaking. But the paradox is that when we come back down a level into the world of, into the realm of form and things, then we say, okay, well, the ego mind type of competition is bad in the sense that it just that it will produce more of the same, and it will give you a more entrenched sense of self, because the ultimate spiritual, the only spiritual practice is the releasing of that contracted energy, which is the perceived sense of self. That is the only spiritual practice there is. All the other practices that have been formed around that are just to try and facilitate that release of the contracted energy of the fictional belief that I am someone, that I exist. So there's layers upon layers, but ultimately it's all that contracted energy. So is my competition in the service of the ego mind, of becoming more contracted, more bigger, more whole and grander, and oh, my sense of self is increased? Or is the competition from an awakened standpoint, in which case you already know that nothing can be added or subtracted from what you are? So the competition, you're playing with with the competitive nature of things. You're enjoying it, absolutely, because there's no self-seeking in it. It just is what it is. You can still be perfectly competitive with things in a playful way when you want to be. Absolutely, nothing inherently bad with anything, good or bad. But even on a worldly level, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not detrimental in any way whatsoever, because you have dissolved the self-seeking from the activity. So inherently, is competition bad? Absolutely not. It can be a wonderful thing, and it can be very healthy, as so many things can be. But it all comes down to your sense of self. Are you seeking a greater sense of self in the activity than it is in the service of the ego mind? Okay. So now this sense of self, we have to understand this. Think to your life, okay? And we have to understand why this is the root of all human suffering. So think to your life. Think to some of the most happy moments in your life. Yes? And when it is some of the most joyous moments in your life, when you are with a lover, for example, or when you are with the beloved, yes, your grandchildren or something. You're in a situation where you are totally enthralled, engulfed in the person or in the activity. Okay? You've lost your sense of self. This is the union. Yes? And we can use with a lover, we can use this example because everyone understands this. And some of the greatest bliss that people have ever felt is in the act of the communion of lovemaking, for example. And why is this? When we examine, because for most people, that is the greatest bliss that they've known, because It is where they have been free of themselves, of their self. They've been able to sort of unify with someone else and a situation. They are temporarily free of themselves, which is the greatest bliss if you're not accustomed to that. There is also people that do really dangerous activities, skydiving or bungee jumping or certain things where rock climbing, okay, it's the same ultimate source of attraction to that activity, and that is the sense of self is gone. You can't be thinking about your problems and yourself and your past and future and all that stuff during a super high adrenaline, high stakes something. And that is extremely blissful to the person who lives from the ego mind. And so you are free of your sense of self. It's the root cause that we just talked about, the sense of self. So when you release that sense of self, but most people are not aware, of course, that that sense of connectedness, that sense of having no boundaries, that sense of being all encompassing, wow, you're not thinking about it, you just are. That's the beauty of the moment, of being with the lover, or of being with in the beloved situation, or so many different ways it can take its form. But that's the beauty of it, is that you have lost yourself in whatever it is. And so that feeling, most people don't understand that that can be permanently let go of. Because in all those activities, you have to eventually come back to earth. Okay, you have to eventually come back into your sense of being someone. And so it's like, oh man, then you want to go back with the lover, or you want to go back with into the skydiving situation, or whatever it was that gave you this bliss. And you don't understand why. It's because you were free of your sense of self. So how can we go to the root cause, the direct path, and free ourself from our sense of self permanently, so that we always feel unimaginably connected, not to any one thing, but to all things simultaneously? We just feel connected to everything. There's no separation. That sense of being like a small self with a fragile life and everything dissolves completely. So it's really beneficial. Examine your life. Examine the some of the most joyous moments in your life. You will always see that, yes, it's because you were able to lose yourself. Just being with family, even, because you lose your sense of self, and it's collective then. Yeah. But it all comes down to the same sense. Exactly. Brian says, the happiest I've ever been is when I am present, watching my family and friends. There is no me, only them. Yes, exactly. Exactly. What's up, Big Wes? Don't see you here very often. Says, the day I passed my first welding test in college, I prayed to God in the booth. God, just don't let me look like an idiot today. I did the best welding I've ever done that day. Nice, nice. And so this is the similar kind of thing when you are inspired, when you have like moments of great inspiration, you've ultimately lost your sense of self, and to the ego mind, it perceives like someone else is coming through you, but really it's all that is. It's your true nature shining through, acting through you. It's infinite spirit acting through you. And so you get out of the way, and it just happens. I just do it. Thank you, my friend. So let's see. Okay, was there one more question to that? And Yes. So number three, do different activities, food, or interaction charge your life force more than other things? Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, this is the case. Your life force energy, remember, go back to the talk we had a few weeks ago. The life force energy is like a battery. Yeah, you are like a battery, okay? In a physical sense, but also in a metaphysical sense, in a energetic sense. So there are physical things because on one level, on one level, we are in a physical world. And so there are laws to this world. And so we eat certain things, and our body grows in charge or it draws from it in charge. Okay. The ancients understood all of this without scientific instruments or anything. They use the scientific instrument of the body and their mind over generations of time and experiences. So they understood that there were things that drain your life force energy. Absolutely. Certain types of music, definitely. So I would say to the questioner says listens mostly to hard like heavy metal and stuff like that. Absolutely draining, killing of the life force. It is definitely the sounds, the message in those types of music. Yes, are draining of the life force energy. The certain types of food, heavy, dead, fried foods, fried in seed oils and stuff, and prepared in a way that is for profit, and they just don't really care. Just here, depletes your life force energy. Absolutely. Now, is there a particular meter? Can I say, hey guys, get this certain meter, and it will tell you your life force energy? No, this is the meter. This is the meter, the ultimate instrument the most amazing instrument there could ever be. And so you will feel this truth. Not only have the ancients helped us along and told us what they have realized, but you can go within and realize yourself in your own. Once you gain the ability to go within and to observe objectively for a length of time, you will see what drains the life force. Yes, alcohol, number one way to lower your vibration is alcohol. Some would say this is why it's pushed so heavily in our society, is to keep you on the lowest possible vibration level there could be. Certain things raise your life force. Yes. Spending time with the beloved. Absolutely. Getting rid of yourself. Being free of yourself dramatically raises your vibration, your life force. The more of those kind of moments you have, the more raised you are. Helping someone, that act raises your life force energy. It is adding to the battery. Remember, we don't plug ourselves into anything. There's no cord. At night, when we go to sleep, we don't plug ourselves into anything because we're so far advanced technology, way beyond plugging ourselves into something. That's just pedestrian, elementary technology compared to this. We absorb it from the ether during sleep. And if you don't sleep for a length of time, you will die. Imagine that. But we don't plug into anything. What do? We get free of ourself. Where are you at night? You die, essentially. You go back to being all that is. Not one thing in particular, but you go back to being all that is temporarily. And so you have gotten out of the way and allowed the body to charge, to draw in the energy just from the ether. Remember, it's technology so much more far advanced than anything a human has ever come up with to plug in. We don't need that. We absorb it. This is why a lot of saints, or not saints, but like yogis and things like that, well-documented stories when you go traveling through India and these ancient places that have been here for thousands of years, they have many, many accounts of very awakened people that don't sleep anymore. They don't need to sleep because they will go into a form of meditation where they get out of the way and they can just absorb energy. They can have the restorative effects of sleep without sleeping. Now, these are people that have purposely brought themselves to that level. Do you have to get to that level? Does it mean anything? Absolutely not. No, it's just what's happening. Does it mean you're not awake if you can't do that? Absolutely not. It's just what happened. It's just what's happening. So we have to understand the way that life force energy works, and that there's no meter, no scientific instrument that is going to tell us. We have to use the one that we've already been given. And we have to look and see how this is already functioning, how when we sleep, we are absorbing life force energy in a way. And so we can do this energetically by showing compassion. Yes. When I was in Morocco and living in this fishing village, I made it a point. I read the Quran while I was there. There was an English version of the Quran, which was amazing that I was able to find that. But I read the Quran for hours every day, and the villagers would try and talk to me. You know, they couldn't speak a word of my language though. And so I'll never forget this one passage says, of the 99 names of Allah, the greatest is mercy. Of the 99 names of Allah, the greatest is mercy. Compassion. This charges our life force. Sharing the goodness. Sharing, giving. This charges your life force. This charges everyone's life force. This charges the collective energy mind. So, so that is my thoughts on that. Taylor Reindl, $10. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Says, thank you for the good energy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So when I was in India one time, there was I was on the motorcycle, and I was in this far out place, Jaisalmer, which is like an old desert town, trading post. It's like a sand castle way out in the Thar Desert on the border of Pakistan. And I was on the Enfield, the motorcycle. And so we spent some weeks there and stuff. And there was a guy that I went to on the daily, multiple times a day actually, because to get these things called lassi, which it is a buffalo curd, water buffalo yogurt basically, and they mix it up with mango. I like the mango lassi. They mix it up with mango and sugar, beat it with this wooden paddle thing, and then you drink it. Oh my gosh! And I went there like multiple times a day because I knew that they were high in protein, and it's hard to find in India. And so, like the first day that I went there, and I talked with the guy, and these guys have nothing. I mean, that he's out there selling these for 5 rupees, and it's 50 rupees to the dollar. So he's out there selling it for 5 rupees, and he's out there in the blazing sun, and he's got this little cart, and every day he's in the same spot and stuff, and he provides this service. And so, one time right in the beginning after we were talking, he gave me the lassi, and I went to pay him. He said, no, gift. And he just wanted to give me the gift. And me, I was still relatively, that wasn't deep into my travels. And so I didn't understand the way of the world. And so I had my American, no, I'm not gonna, So I just insisted, I kept insisting that he doesn't give it to me for free. And instead I gave him like $5, like way enough for like 100 lassis, and so, so I felt good for myself. But then I saw in his eyes when I pulled off on the motorcycle that first day, I saw in his eyes like okay, that's fine. Because I took from him that experience of being able to give. He just wanted to give his art form. He wanted to give what he does. And he didn't need money for it. He didn't need my rupees. I mean, I'm sure he did though, ultimately, but I took from him that opportunity. And I will never forget the look in his eyes. And as I drove away, the feeling of going, wow, that was really strange. I should have just given him that opportunity to give. So those kind of experiences really helped me to understand that one of the best that people, that sometimes you just let them give. Just let them give. It's good for everyone. So yeah, countless experiences like that, but that one sticks out in my mind just from the look of his eyes. And so it really helped me to understand, like when I traveled and I went to people's houses and things, and to just be a guest, and to just let them host you, and to you give what in different ways. It's just such a magnificent ride. So many things that have happened, and so much. So many experiences, so much wonderful learning, So thank you, my friend, for the $2. I appreciate that. Yes, thanks for a great live. Yes, thank you guys for a great live. Yeah. Yes. Alvin K says, I'm a little behind, but I've heard that about alcohol and lowering vibrations, but I disagree a bit because I see every society with some sort of alcoholic beverage. Yeah, me too. But does that mean that, what does that mean? Well, everyone's doing it. Everyone's got some sort of alcoholic thing. So says, I think we just have really bad strains of yeast and alcohol being used similar to cultivated yeast that is used in every bread in Western society. Do you think alcohol such as sake, etc.? Absolutely. Well, it's the fundamental human, and you're right, though. Wherever, and my travels have shown me this, wherever you go and humans gather, you will find mind and mood altering substances. In places like Morocco, it's really difficult to find alcohol because that's like a junkie drug in their mind. And yeah. And so, but there's hash everywhere, hash and opium. So really easy to find. Opium's a nightmare, but hash, very, very, very easy to find. So wherever humans gather in numbers, you will find mind and mood altering substances. Now, why? Because the fundamental thing that we talked about at the beginning, the fundamental drive for wholeness, the fundamental drive to be free of ourself. When you take a substance, it can make you temporarily free. You're relaxed. You're loose. Spirits. Togetherness. Yeah. It's all false. It's all fake. You're giving your power away to something else. You're saying, I can't possibly relax. I can't possibly do it. I can't feel connected otherwise. I need this substance in order to connect me. So therefore, we're going to say it's a great spiritual thing because I need it. Really. I mean, if I'm being honest, maybe I'm not physically dependent on it, but psychologically, I just don't have the skills. I haven't developed myself enough. So I need some kind of substance, whatever it is. And this is you will find that the fundamental, because archetypes of human mind all work the same. I've traveled all over the world, and I can tell you this: all human minds are the exact same. The skin color is different, the nationality is different, the language is different, the cultural practices are different, but the fundamental source of the human mind is exactly the same. And so they're always seeking something that will free them of themselves, some way to escape. Mm-hmm. But guess what? I've tried for years, and there is no way out. There is no way out. There is no way out. But there is always a way through. Yes. So, this is absolutely true, Graham. Alcohol has ruined more lives than any drug has. Families have been destroyed by it. It's the worst stuff ever, especially cheap alcohol most folks buy these days. Absolutely. And many of you know my story, and I used to be in the same way, seeking an escape from myself. Any kind of mind and mood altering substance was all about it. but nothing, even the hardest of hard drugs, nothing allowed me to actually lose myself like alcohol. Alcohol is the one to where you can just obliterate your sense of self. None of the others ever did that, could do that. So, guys, let us rejoice in our freedom. Let us rejoice that we don't have to worry about none of that anymore, because we're awake. We're awake and we are here, and the sun is shining, and it is a beautiful, gorgeous day. And the growing season is coming up, and we're healthy, and we're consistently getting more healthy. All of these things. Think of how amazing this whole experience is. Think of how mind-blowing, jaw-dropping it is to be alive. Okay, my friends, thank you very much for everything. Let me know some content ideas for next week. Okay, I'm gonna look at them sweet potatoes. This is life force energy. Life force energy. Infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Thank you, my friends. Okay, good. I'm glad you got it, Alvin. That's right, B. Hendricks. That's right, Lucia Bora. We all wish you healing, Masabi Gal. Thank you, Nima. I'm glad you're here. Very good, Wes. That's what we like to hear. That's a great topic for the future. What about psychedelic drugs? Mushrooms, LSD. I got a lot I can say on that as well. Let us talk about that sometime.